Hello YouTube, we're doing a relic tier list now for the warp server in Tower of Fantasy, okay? All the relics have been rebalanced from the main server, and they are very balanced now compared to main server where you only used a certain few ones that gave you damage buffs. Now in the MMO warp server, none of these relics give you damage buffs, and they are all on decently equal footing. But again, obviously there's meta ones, and there's ones that have insane effects that you need to use on certain content. And we'll go through all of them, tell you which one you should invest into, which one you should farm, because you can farm all of these relics by opening boss chests, even force opening them. You can perma farm these, right? If you open a boss chest with a key, you're guaranteed 6 relic shards. If you don't use a key, there's a chance to get 1 shard. Okay, so you can permanently farm stuff like this. And also you get relics from just completing the map exploration milestone, right? So these relics, okay, you can get them all for free. Even the used to be battle pass relics on the main server. But there should be a priority in which one you get first because of the certain content that's coming up. So that's why there's a tier list, okay? Let's start off with the most important relic in this entire version of Tower of Fantasy, okay? Warp server, best relic, S tier, the only S tier available on this entire tier list, the only relic that's good that you must get. Okay, Spacetime Rift is on S tier. Why? Spacetime Rift, first things first, okay, you cannot farm for Spacetime Rift, or as in like Domain 9 exploration points gives you relic shards when you auto explore them, when you do exploration. I already claimed all of them. Spacetime Rift is not given out for free from exploration. A lot of the other things are. And then also there's no shop to buy Spacetime Rift. And the main thing is raids. Nemesis raids, they have healing mechanics. They heal each other, right? Origin of War, last floor, or most of the hard floors, they have healing mechanics, right? Every second the boss will heal HP. Can be affected by healing reduction. Why is Spacetime Rift relevant here? Is because Spacetime Rift at 4 stars, I'm not at 4 stars, big mistake, okay, that you shouldn't be making. Spacetime Rift at 4 stars negates all healing by targets inside the rift. Completely negates healing. So, a lot of the endgame hard content that have healing bosses require this thing, at least 4 on the team, since the cooldown is 60 seconds and it lasts for 15 seconds, right, at 1 star. So you need 4 people chaining Spacetime Rifts on the boss, so the boss is permanently never healing, okay? Very important relic that you should get to 4 star immediately, okay? This is why Spacetime Rift is on S tier. And then the only place that you can get Spacetime Rift is from Colton over here in the Abyss, 3rd floor, Colton. The only boss that drops Spacetime Rift. So, before you unlock Fulton, highly recommend you save all your boss keys. Forget about your guaranteed boss drops for cosmetics and all that. Save your boss keys to whatever the level cap gets to Colton, and then burn all your keys on Spacetime Rift. Get to that 4 star. Very important, okay? They are still useful, but nothing as useful as Spacetime Rift, okay? Let's go. Next. Confinement, A tier. This is the best damage dealing relic in the entire warp server as of right now, season 1, okay? This thing does the most damage. And then it also can be activated without interrupting any of your movement. And it does damage in a huge AoE zone. So it's multi-target AoE damage, does not interrupt your combos or anything, right? This is the go-to relic that everyone uses to get in more damage, okay? The biggest damage relic. You get Confinement through exploring Domain 9. okay, for free. Okay, just like there's all the little exploration points in Domain 9. Sometimes will give you Confinement Shards. So yeah, Confinement. All right, this is the next thing you should farm. Confinement to at least maybe, hold on. What is the star? Getting Confinement to 3-star basically. 3-star reduces the cooldown to 80 seconds for maximum DPS. Okay, 2-star gives you extra damage. So 3-star Confinement is where you should just stop, okay? Yeah, Confinement A tier. Next up, okay, Mag Pulse is the go-to relic for any DPS character that needs hyper body, that needs to guarantee some damage to go in without getting interrupted. Okay, Magnetic Pulse, you don't really need to invest into it. Okay, just getting it at 1 is good enough. But again, if you get more stars, you can use it while CC'd, and then you're immune to CC at 2 stars. And then you get a bunch of these for free anyways. So get Mag Pulse. You use this on Helene, you use this on Hipper, you use this on literally anybody that needs to have hyper body at specific time points. Helene's best friend, basically. Whenever you do that, hold attack. A very important relic to maximize your DPS. Drone is pretty much the same thing as Mag Pulse. It's not as easy to get as Mag Pulse, but Drone also gives you hyper body when it is invested. And then Drone is in the network shop, and the interior network shop over here. Okay, 3rd floor of this map. Okay, you can talk to this guy. You can buy some drone shards with Norn coin. Drone also gives you hyper body for a duration of time. Also really important for characters that need even more extended hyper body, Hipper, to do maximum DPS. Okay, you got, wait, no. Let's not move on, right? Hold on, Drone, you need to get to, what is the star? You need to get to at least 1-star Drone, right? It's 5 seconds of hyper body at 1 star. You don't get hyper body at this base level. Yeah. So at least 1-star Drone. That's why it's ranked behind the Mag Pulse. Mag Pulse is usable directly. Drone, you need a dupe basically to utilize Drone properly. Yeah, that's Drone. Alternate Destiny. Next up on the A tier. This is basically the same effect as on main server. Basically, you get to cheat death. You get to save yourself from guaranteed death in a lot of content, right? You can't be reduced below 20% HP or something like that. And then this is really good for team supporting usage. So Alternate Destiny is on A tier, okay? Don't need to talk too much about that thing. Missile Barrage, the drone heal also helps a bit in FC. The heal is pretty much negligible at the end of the day. Next up, Missile Barrage. All right, we're off to B tier. This is, I'd say, the 2nd best damaging relic if you do want to invest into it. Okay, if you need maximum DPS, and you don't need hyper body, you don't need anything else, people run Missile Barrage Confinement. Right, both do physical damage, but like, you know, Missile Barrage does a shit ton of damage, and it's like auto homing missiles, and you know, it doesn't interrupt your cast animation. It doesn't have a cast animation. So Missile Barrage, high B tier. All right, the best DPS relic outside of Confinement probably. That's Missile Barrage. But like, you do need to get a lot of copies of Missile Barrage to get it to 4 stars, because every star of Missile Barrage gives it more damage. So this is like a long-term thing, right? After you're done with most of the other ones. Strange Cube. This thing has a cast animation, but it gives you charge. Some healers would run this to be able to spam more discharges in like content that requires it. So like, this thing is in B tier. It's useful to an extent at high investment when you spam it to get charge back. Strange Cube at B. Lava Bomb is also a decent flame damage dealing relic. Okay, but you gotta learn this Lava Bomb tech. So let me show it real quick. Lava Bomb, right? Normally Lava Bomb, you press the thing, you have to aim, and then you have to throw it. It wastes you a lot of time, right? That's really bad. But there is a tech with Lava Bomb where if you press the Lava Bomb and immediately press your healing food, F2, so 3 and then F2 for me, the bomb will drop underneath your feet and instantly explode without wasting too much time. So you can, let me do this real quick. 3 and then F2, right? It drops on the floor and then it blows up. I kind of fucked it up. That was too quick, right? So 3 F2 immediately drops the bomb onto your feet and then you do an AoE explosion. So there's a tech to using Lava Bomb without interrupting yourself too much. That's why Lava Bomb is at B. Okay, since it also does a lot of damage and it does a bunch of burn damage in the background. Okay, moving on, we got Cloak at B. Cloak at 4-star high investment does like 800% damage 3 times while you're cloaked. Technically more single target DPS than Confinement if you're against the one target. And then Cloak has other uses of going invisible and cheesing bosses with like, it lets you cheese bosses with the throwables and stuff like that. I don't know. Helps you do Pokemon capture content as well. Cloak is maybe good to use. Okay, unfortunately, yes, chat brought it up. It does reset aggro on certain things. Very situational, I guess. Sometimes it'll screw you up. All right, move on. We got Omnium Shield on C tier now. Omnium Shield. We can zoom in now, yeah? I can zoom in on this thing. Omnium Shield on C tier. Omnium Shield no longer gives you a damage buff like on main server. It basically is just there as a sort of body block. It blocks mobs from moving past your shield. So in certain situations where the boss likes to run around and be very annoying, right? That Chaos Armor join off, for example. Omnium Shield can stop it from moving and help you do more DPS. Very situational. Don't need to invest into it. Just get it. You'll get it for free anyways. And again, there's a shop for it. There's a shop for the thing over here, right? Outside of the exploration rewards. You just buy that over here. Omnium Shield done. Next up, a Couant. Couant again was the meta relic for global or the early days of ToF because it gave you damage buffs every 30 seconds for 5 seconds. That is no longer here. Now it only blows up, stuns the target, does some damage, and then it blocks some damage, all right? It's not that useful anymore, but the stun, if you use correctly, can stun bosses like the Nem Raid. It does help for survival purposes if, like, I don't know, your tank gets kidnapped into that little dimension. So it does help in certain places, so that's why it's on C, okay? Most of these next ones are just utility stuff now. Omnium Hand Cannon, C tier, right? This is useful during that Apophis raid at the early days, where when Apophis raises his arms and starts like charging up his Spirit Bomb and a bunch of shit flies out, and then you shoot an Omnium Cannon at the floor. Everyone hides behind the pillar, okay? Just get it. You don't need to invest into this thing. Later on, Apophis also shows up in Final Trial, so you might want to also get this. Oh yeah, and then Deer. The Deer raid, the Rudolph raid, where everyone needs to stand on top of a platform and not be on the ground to avoid the floor is lava mechanic. So like this thing has its uses. Obviously don't need investment. Just need one person on the team, maybe 2 to have this, just in case, and that's it. All right, moving on. Hovering Cannon and Magnetic Storm, they're basically the same thing. Put them both on the C tier. These do damage, okay? These are just damage relics, but they're not as good as the other damage relics because they have a cast animation. It takes forever. It interrupts your basically flow of combat, and especially Mag Storm. The tornadoes would also miss the target a lot of the time. Not consistent. Shouldn't be using these ever when you have other better options, okay? The only time you would possibly use them is if they have either Frost weakness or Vault weakness, but then again, I wouldn't bother. Okay. Moving on. These are the even worse ones. Colossus Arms and Type V Mecha. You'll get Colossus Arm fairly early if you farmed a lot of Robarg on day 1. Both of these, they transform your character and they block you from doing anything else while you do damage with them. Compared to main server though, these things, okay, they do a shit ton of damage. So early game, they are useful, But again, at late game, it's better to use your own weapons and not rely on this. So like sometimes when you have downtime in your rotation, you can switch into these to cheese in a little bit more damage, but why not just use Confinement, right? And do damage at the same time. Oh, these are on D tier. They transform your character, they interrupt whatever you're doing, and you're forced to be on them. Not worth getting these, okay? Control gun. This thing basically is a battle pass relic, right? Back in the day. On this server, all it does is it controls beast type mobs up to 2. Could have very niche uses in Origin of War if there's annoying beast mobs, but I wouldn't bother with this thing. I don't see anyone using this. All right, same with bubble gun. Bubble gun doesn't give you damage boost anymore. It does a little bit of bubble damage, and it gives you like speed buffs and stuff. Not very relevant on D tier. And then the rest of these are just exploration relics. We got Flight Apparatus. This thing is at the front of the exploration tier because it is fucking insane. Let's do the showcase of how it flies real quick. I just go to Vera. I think this is important. Let's go to an empty field. So, Flight Apparatus. How does this thing work, okay? Basically, this thing is the best exploration relic if you know what you're doing, okay? Quickly showcase the macro. So you could be on literally any weapon. You need to backdash, basically. You've either faced north or west. This is like some hidden tech with this item, this relic. You face north or west. Your camera has to face north or west or diagonally. It doesn't matter, but it has to be in this like quadrant. Your camera faces there, and then the direction you want to go to your character is back to that direction. So for example, if I want to go south, right, I turn my back to the camera, I look north, and all you do is dash, jump, and spam tap the relic, right? Insane movement tech, glides you super far, okay? This is really helpful to get around early when you don't have anything else to use. All right, so if you want to go north, you instead face your back towards north, and then you backdash, but this time you have to hold S while you do the thing. So backdash, jump, relic, hold S to go in this direction. Same goes for west side. If you want to go west, right, you point your camera west and you do this. And if you want to go east, right, if you want to go into that direction, you point your camera to the west side. You put your back towards the camera, and you don't have to hold S on this one. Dash, jump, and start spamming the relic. You can go super far with this thing. God tier exploration movement relic. There are macros floating around online too, if you don't want to do this manually. But I'm just showing you how the manual thing works. All right, that's Flight Apparatus. Jetpack is just Jetpack. Everyone knows how Jetpack works. It's literally the first relic they gave you. The Jetpack is Jetpack. There's a bunch of Jetpack cancel macros that you can use. For example, when you have Antoria, the Claudia Jetpack is dead, by the way. Antoria, you can like that, right? Double tapping Jetpack keeps your momentum a little bit. Yeah, it's Jetpack. Moving on, the Cybernetic Arm. It's Cybernetic Arm. It's a grapple, basically. You can use the hook anywhere. Exploration relic. It also gives you shield. It also gives you a shield, and whenever you grapple something, it could be useful for like places where you need shield, but there's better options, right? Mini Pelican. This is the underwater relic that lets you go faster to explore underwater. But why explore underwater when you can auto explore? Fuck that place. That's why it's over here. If you really need it, you can use this to explore underwater. Triple Mask is basically an exploration relic. It lets you see chests. It lets you go invisible whenever you do Pokemon capture stuff, so you don't get aggroed and stuff like that. If you have life skill and you selected Beast Tamer, you could go Triple Mask. It could help, but it's not very useful anywhere else. Hoverboard is Hoverboard. This one is the better hoverboard than the Jetboard. This uses stamina. Can ride on the land, ride on sand, water, anywhere. And this is just for exploration. Jetboard is the water only version of the hoverboard that doesn't use stamina. Not very useful anyways. when you get all the weapons and you get all the exploration movement abilities. None of these exploration relics are that relevant anymore, unfortunately. And then finally, Speedwalkers. It's dog shit. You can only use it in Domain 9. Meanwhile, everyone gets Aster for free, and you can use Aster anywhere. And there is no cooldown, no stamina consumption. So why would you ever? Why would you ever? Like, Aster just, you could just walk up, run up walls for free. Exactly like Speedwalkers. And Speedwalkers is limited to Domain 9. So this is the Relic Tier List, okay? The final screenshot. Everyone skip over here. And just basically max out Spacetime Rift at 4 stars. Okay, the most important. And also, at the end of the day, all right, final point for all these relics. Since this is an MMO, relics at 5 stars, and relics at 5 stars, they all give you additional stats, right? This one gives you 2% Fizz resistance. Spacetime Rift gives you 2% Fizz attack, right? The 5-star effects on all the relics give you stats to your character. So at the end of the day, at the end of the season, if you're tryharding, you are expected to max out all the relics. You're expected to max out all the relics for the 2% attack buffs and stat buffs, okay? But remember that at the end of the season, since this is now a seasonal MMO, at the end of the season, at the beginning of the new season, your 5-star effect will be automatically added to the 4-star effect on the new season. So that 2% stat buff will be moved to the 4-star effect, and they will open up a new 5-star effect. And all your relics get reset back down to 4 stars. So you have to regrind all the relics to get that stat buff again on the new season. So at the end of the day, you're expected to max out your relics and get the attack boost if you're tryharding. So that makes this tier list irrelevant. You're expected to max everything, but again, obviously max Spacetime Rift first. Otherwise, you won't be able to do some of the endgame raids, and you'll be left out because you need at least 4 people on the team to have Spacetime Rift to even attempt the super hard mode Nemesis raid, since you have to kill them both at the same time, and you need to prevent them from healing each other. That is it to the tier list for relics kicked by YouTube.